taking an open plea in court. What does that mean? Well, the state attorney has offered you a plea bargain. It's a plea bargain that you're not willing to accept. Most often it's a plea bargain that involves jail or prison time. Your attorney has told you that the likelihood of winning either at a motion to suppress or at a trial is slim. So you're looking for an alternative to the plea bargain offer that the state has given you. So one way to do this is for your attorney to open plea to the court. What does that really mean to you? What it should mean to you is that the judge can give you anything from the minimum, whatever your charges are. Let's give it hypothetical. Let's say you're charged with grand theft, and the minimum he can give you is probation, and the maximum he can give you is 5 years of Florida state prison. Well, you've had some criminal history, so the state's not giving you, right? The state's not offering to you a withhold of adjudication and a year of probation. Well, they're offering you a prison sentence. Maybe they're offering 2 years of prison. So what you need to know is that when you apply, when you ask the judge to make the decision for you, it's called an open plea. And an open plea, the judge can give you anything from the minimum, something discretionary, to the maximum 5 years of Florida state prison. So what's important to know? It's important to know your judge, to know his background or her background, to know what kind of rulings he or she has made in the past, to know what their stance on crime is, to know whether or not there's someone who's a harsh sentencer or someone who thinks more about rehabilitation. This is a question, that you're not going to know the answer to. This is something that your attorney is going to know the answer to. Your attorney, if he's a criminal defense attorney and he's in court every day and this is what he does for a living, should know the type of judge you're dealing with. Additionally, should also know the type of state attorney that he or she is dealing with. Some state attorneys are very harsh in what their offers are, and some are more lenient. Again, different people have different opinions on how to handle a case. Now, there's a lot of run-of-the-mill offers. For instance, let's say on that same grand theft case, if you had no criminal history, probably the standard offer, and if you're not entering a diversion program, let's say in one of the South Florida counties, whether it be Broward, Palm Beach, Martin County, let's say a standard offer for a young person who has no criminal history, who did not enter a diversion program, might be 18 months of probation with a withhold of adjudication, meaning they're not a convicted felon. Well, that might be a standard offer. So it sort of depends on what the evidence is against you to make a determination of what offer to accept. Again, we're talking about open pleas. Open pleas are almost always requested, or considered, I should say, when you have a lousy offer, what you deem to be a lousy offer. What's a lousy offer? Jail or prison. Nobody wants to go there. So you're looking for an alternative. Granted, there may be a downward departure motion that your attorney could file, which is a motion asking the judge to depart from the guidelines, what you normally should score as far as the Florida Punishment Code, and the amount of time you should be in a jail or prison cell. I'm telling you way too much information. This is probably going to confuse the hell out of you. All right. Open plea. Know your judge. Know your prosecutor. Know your options. All of these answers come from your attorney. Consult with your attorney and don't make a rash decision. Think about the consequences, because if you do an open plea in front of the wrong judge, you may end up doing much more time than had you accepted the state's offer. Again, I don't think of myself as a plea bargain attorney, but depending on the facts against my client, if you have horrible facts, if you have a confession, if you have witnesses, if you have a videotaped crime, these things obviously are very difficult to get past. So you have to consider options in your plea bargaining. do not request an open plea of a judge your attorney isn't familiar with. You have to do a little bit of research to find out whether or not the better deal is coming from the state attorney. The worst thing, and when I see it in court, it's the worst thing imaginable. I've seen where other attorneys have open plead to a judge, and I say to myself, there's no way I would ever open plea to this judge. I know this judge. They are a harsh sentencer, and that person ends up with a 20-year sentence when perhaps the state attorney was offering 5. You really want to consider your options about an open plea, but you got to know who the players are in the game. If you don't know the players, you don't enter the game because you're going to get blasted. Think about it. I'm talking to you today about open pleas. Thanks for listening.